What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 99 of the Super Deformed Gamescast. We are back on another Thursday, and this is an episode that I am really excited about because, as you guys know, we absolutely love having devs on. We love it. We love having guests. We love having the people who make the games that we enjoy playing. And tonight we have a couple of guys from Castle Pixel, who are the developers of Blossom Tales, which you can pick up on Steam and the Nintendo Switch. We have Robert and Miguel. Guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Yeah, hey, thanks for having us.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Dude, seriously, the pleasure's all on the side of the table. So this is your first time on the show, so just a few ground rules. You can interrupt whenever you want. We don't respect each other on this podcast.
No, Thank you.
Some of us don't even like each other.
I don't like any of you. To be honest.
I know you don't.
Yeah.
So feel free to jump in and disrespect us or each other at any point. We're not going to take offense to it. As long as you don't mind JT jumping in to disrespect you every now and then, because JT likes to interrupt people when they're talking.
Yeah.
But anyway, so guys, I wanted to kind of jump right into it. We've already got people filing into the chat. That's cool. Do me a favor, guys. Everybody, please retweet this. We could use more viewers is always good. Guys, I will leave it to you, Robert and Miguel, to decide who wants to take this. But why don't you tell everybody a little bit about Castle Pixel to start us off?
Cool. Castle Pixel was started, I think in like 2015, Miguel. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2015, we started Castle Pixel. We originally made it to join the developer program for Nintendo. We were thinking about like porting our last game, Rex Rocket, to the Wii U. So we like made a company and applied there. And
so you guys are really young. You haven't been around for a long time.
No, yeah, only a couple years. So
That's impressive.
yep. We made Rex Rocket, and then we ran a Kickstarter for Blossom Tales, which didn't make its goal, but FTG stepped in, and so we partnered with them, and rest is history, pretty much. Here we are today.
I'm really glad you guys. So I actually did not. This is news to me. I was not aware that you guys had a Kickstarter for the game. I had never even heard of it until a few weeks ago when I saw a tweet come across my feed that say, "Hey, it says, hey, Blossom Tales has sold more on the Switch. I think what it was in one day than it had on Steam during its entirety, which is
yes, twice as much.
Twice as much, yeah.
Yep.
Which is absolutely insane.
One thing I'll help attribute to that is the Nintendo tweet button, like to share screenshots. Is ever since I started playing it, it's been so easy to share all the funny, awesome moments of Blossom Tales, and that helps get people to go, "Oh, what's this game?" And then they check it out. It's a lot easier to spread the word, or it was for Blossom Tales, I thought, than it was for the Steam version.
I mean, that's just across the generation. I'm sorry. That's one of the most important things, I think, is the just ability to share your gameplay instantly. Even on PC, NVIDIA has added shadow play. And so, I mean, just across the board, it's easier to share your cool gameplay moments. And that's just good for everybody.
Well, and it's especially good for games like Blossom Tales, which, I got to say right off the bat, when I booted it up, I just had a huge smile on my face because I immediately got the Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past feelings in my heart. And of course, that is a game that's very close to me. It's one of my favorite games of all time. It is obviously
A Link to the Past and Link's Awakening are the two best Zelda games.
I would say they're probably in the top three. Yep. We lost Jeff again. There he is. So obviously you guys are fans of A Link to the Past as well, because I see a lot of homages and obviously inspiration taken from A Link to the Past. Is that something that you guys like from the get-go? Is this something where you were like, okay, we want to make kind of an homage or a celebration of A Link to the Past? Is that what you guys set out to do initially, like right off the bat?
Yeah, pretty much. You could say that.
Okay. So I guess kind of bouncing off of that, you've got your you got your spin attack, and you got there's a boomerang, and there's bombs, and there's bows and arrows. Were you ever afraid that you might be kind of hewing too closely to A Link to the Past? Like was there ever that moment where you were like, okay, we want to obviously create something that is a spiritual successor and pays tribute to A Link to the Past, while at the same time we're trying to skirt that line of okay, we don't want to be
game, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Miguel, you can take that one.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the first thing you read in every single article, it's Link to the Past, Zelda, which definitely took a lot of balancing, took a lot of thinking, because you do want to release a game where people are like, oh, this looks like my favorite game from when I was a kid, but it feels new, it feels unique. So that was definitely a worry, but we felt like we put in enough charm, enough of our own thing to make it seem a little bit different, just have a taste of Zelda. We cut some stuff. Early on, we had a big owl, like the Zelda owl. We're like, okay, let's get rid of that because it's a little bit too on the nose.
Yeah, for sure.
But, yeah, we had fun, and we definitely liked the reception.
So, actually, Finn, did you have something you wanted to ask?
Yeah, well, I just had questions in general. One, I noticed that you mentioned FDC or FDG coming in to help. Did they approach you, or did you guys approach them? Because I know Philip, and he has good taste in games, so I was curious how that played out.
Yeah, back during the Kickstarter, before it was over, someone from FDG contacted us, and they were like, hey, we really like the game. If things don't work out with the Kickstarter, we, love to partner with you or work together. So that's how that came about.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, I came across this game completely randomly on the Switch. I had some credit from the holidays, and I was looking to pick something up. I had never heard of it on Steam, and I'm a huge Link to the Past fan as well, and I dove in, and I love that you marry the gameplay of Zelda, but you make it your own with this humor hook. I don't want to say it's like a funny game, but there's a lot of charm and a lot of like tongue-in-cheek moments that make you want to just stop and share what you just read because it's genuinely like amusing. How did you balance it from not being too, I guess, silly versus having it be its own thing?
Finn's stealing my questions here.
That's a damn good question.
I mean, that's just, well, one thing, it's kind of like we wanted it to be charming, story within a story, kind of like a Princess Bride vibe. So that comes with the humor. But at the end of the day, it wasn't really anything we were like focusing on. It's just, we're just like that. We like humor. Even Rex Rocket, a lot of dumb, funny stuff happens. So it just kind of came about naturally in the writing and the character designs, things like that.
So you guys just wanted to make like a game that's fun to play.
Yeah, I think when we were like designing the world, I think like one of the major themes is just lightheartedness.
Mm-hmm. More Postmaster.
Yeah, right. But it was we just wanted to have the world have this feeling of what you almost expect from like a Zelda town, just kind of lightness, I guess.
Mm-hmm. So one thing I've also noticed is the game is hard. Like it is not an easy game, and there was one boss in particular that I was like for probably maybe 2 hours, and I'm pretty good at top-down 2D adventure games, and it was in the second castle. It was the fire mage. The fire mage.
That's the exact moment I was gonna say.
I almost put my Switch through the window fighting that guy. Like I was like, God damn it! What am I doing wrong? Why can't I do this? And I actually thought that the end boss of that dungeon, it was that demon. I thought he was a lot more manageable than the actual mid boss of the dungeon. I was like, whoa, this is so tough. But it was like that. it was like that Dark Souls difficulty in which, like, you know, I did, because sometimes you'll play a game, right, and it's so difficult where you're like, I've got to step away from this for a minute, right? Like I've got to turn it off and just walk away. I play games like that often, but Blossom Tales is engaging and you know, I was angry that I was dying, and
you want to talk about a game where you just have to walk away sometimes? We'll talk about getting over it in a little bit.
Yeah, and you know, but Blossom Tales, what I think works about Blossom Tales is that it's like you said, Miguel, it's that charm, it's that charm and that sense of kind of whimsy that kept me coming back, and plus the gameplay is just fun. It's a tight feeling game, but damn, some of those bosses, man. Oh my god, like was that your goal from the very beginning to be like, we're gonna make some of these guys absolutely punishing?
I don't think that was like our intention on the outset. And you know, it varies from person to person. Like some people they'll complain about the difficulty being too low, and some people too high. So it's kind of like striking that balance. That Fire Mage boss is probably one of the toughest bosses in the game, though.
I actually thought he was the toughest boss in the game. Absolutely.
Yeah, we might have gone a little crazy with him.
Oh no,
but, you know, I mean,
here's the thing, Robert. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I actually see, like, I was okay with it. I was just like, I was more angry at myself that I couldn't do it. You know, I was like, wow, why can't I do this? Like, but it gives you that rush. Like, I love that feeling of when you clear a really difficult boss like the Fire Mage. Like, you know, my palms are sweaty. I'm like trying to hold on to my Switch, you know, and it's just such a good feeling, man.
Yeah, well, you know, that's frustration. You know, you overcome it, you get that feeling of satisfaction. So
what I like about it is that you. Oh, sorry, please.
Oh no, go ahead.
But I was just gonna say I like that you help mitigate the frustration, because you do give players a lot of ways to continue going, even if they aren't incredibly skilled, whether it's the health potions or the revival flowers. I never felt like I was being punished for being too hard, but I did really just enjoy how it was almost like a bullet hell, like a shmup feel to it.
I got that feeling too, actually.
Because the whole screen, even outside of boss fights, like in the final area with the cactuses that shoot the homing fireballs, just sometimes the screen will be filled with bullets and energy that you have to dodge, and you just feel really good about yourself when you do it. So
I just want to point out, by the way, Finn, that I have been waiting 2 years for somebody to use the term cactuses that fire homing fireballs.
Well, you're welcome. Thank Castle Pixel for making your dreams come true.
I appreciate that. Please continue.
Also, no, I wanted to give a personal props for them utilizing, even though the game is heavily influenced by Link to the Past, they use the stamina system for item uses from Link Between Worlds, which I really enjoyed. Instead of having to constantly gather ammo for arrows and bombs and whatnot, it was just a stamina meter. So from me to you, thank you for that design choice.
Yeah, we looked at all the Zelda games for, you know, what worked best, and actually having like Link to the Past is great, but having the, like, you know, if you have a boss and you have to have arrows to defeat the boss, it's like, you know, it sets that limitation. Whereas like if you have a bar that just refills over time, then you can design a lot more things. Like you can have things that require bombs or things that require arrows, and you can count on the player actually being able to use those abilities instead of you know, forcing a player to backtrack to collect stuff. So we thought it worked really well.
So I guess here's my next question is, obviously it has sold really well on the Switch, right? Like this game is, I mean, so I think anyway, I don't know, that's what we read. Would you guys consider the game a sales success on the Switch? Is it?
Oh yeah, it's huge. It's definitely found its audience on the Switch. You know, the Steam release went okay, but yeah, Switch just killed it. And I'm not really surprised. I mean, it's a game made for Nintendo fans, and you know, a Nintendo platform is really where it belongs. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I haven't really seen Blossom Tale like get any like attention from like publishers until websites until, you know, it landed on the Switch.
Yeah, right. It's something. It's some kind of Switch magic. I don't.
You
I
guys
don't
came
really
at
get
the
it,
right
but
time.
yeah,
Well,
totally.
I guess that's my next question is like, what do you think it is about the Nintendo Switch that I don't know is so good for indie platform or for just for indie games in general? Because if you guys remember at the beginning of this generation, the PS4 was considered kind of I don't know the savior of indie games or maybe not the savior of indie
I
games,
mean,
but
yeah,
more
because
of
you were
the
getting games like Rogue Legacy that were doing really well. So.
exactly yeah. But now. I mean that banner in just less than a year seems to have been passed on to the Switch. I mean, all these indie games are releasing for it, and they're doing extremely well. All of them, or at least a huge amount of them. So, do you guys think, as indie developers yourselves, what would you attribute that to? Is it the portability of the Switch? Is it the ease of working with Nintendo? Is it? I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think? Because you're the guys who actually make games for platforms like the Switch. So what's your what's your opinion on that?
So
Switch magic, in my opinion.
What you said, the portability is just nice. The fact that the Switch is new helps too. But for us, what at least for Blossom Tales, what helped is that right now there's no official 2D Zelda on the console.
Mm-hmm.
People loved Breath of the Wild. I love Breath of the Wild, but it's not 2D Zelda. It's not even traditional 3D Zelda in a sense. So it was at the right time for us. You can't even download the old 2D Zeldas, like any virtual console or anything like that.
That's
so
a good point.
It's a great point.
It was good timing, and just like Rob said, it's a Nintendo game. We make a game like what Nintendo makes. Who better than a Nintendo fan base?
So I've actually got we've got some questions that were submitted to us by people who watch the show, and one from somebody who I'm certain doesn't watch the show, but I asked him on Twitter anyway. So I wanted to jump into some of those real quick. And our first question is actually from Brian Altano at IGN, which is super cool to say on this podcast. But he says, The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. I know that was the worst impression I've ever heard in my life of anything. I just want you to know that. That was much better. That was a lot better. Still not quite as good as he does it, but it was a lot better. He asks, The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening is my favorite game of all time. Blossom Tales is heavily inspired by Link to the Past, but how much, if any, Link's Awakening nods and references snuck in there too?
Let's see. It's weird. Blossom Tales is like, for me, it's like a combination of A Link to the Past and Link's Awakening. I had a Game Boy. I never had an SNES. So I didn't really grow up with a Link to the Past, right? I played it over at friends' houses, but it was always like, something I never played. So A Link's Awakening, I think Blossom Tales would actually be like maybe like 55% Link's Awakening. You can see it in everything from like the level designs, which like Link's Awakening, everything's square, right? Like there's no diagonal tile maps like you see in A Link to the Past, stuff like that. So the graphics, it's almost like a mashup between A Link to the Past and Link's Awakening, which is kind of weird. But so yeah, for me, it's more Link's Awakening than A Link to the Past.
Yeah, same here. The first 2D Zelda I played was Link's Awakening, so felt even though everyone's comparing it to Link to the Past, it's came out more from our.
At first glance, the art style is the first thing you notice, and that's most inspired by Link to the Past. But yeah, maybe like everything else is more Link's Awakening.
As far as Easter eggs or references, nothing direct. There was going to be an idea that just didn't make it into the game where one of the quests from Link's Awakening that always like stuck with me is where the ghost follows you around. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Yes,
oh yeah, I do. Yeah,
it just didn't make it. But remnants of that quest are where you go up the stairs in Blossom Tales to the right. There's a empty house. It's all spider webs and just empty. That was kind of going to be related to that quest, like a ghost that follows you around, tells you to take him to his grave or whatever. Other than that, nothing direct. I mean, Link to the Past doesn't have ghosts. It has a pose, which had lanterns. But,
you know what? The starting house is a straight model off of A Link to the Past.
That's cool.
Where you wake up in bed.
Yeah. Okay. That did seem familiar, actually. Now that I think,
I was almost expecting to walk outside to the rain.
Right?
You know,
Yeah.
what like I also like I want to show some level of appreciation to you guys because you gave me something that A Link to the Past didn't do, and that was a room full of pots to smash. So I really I found that room early on in the game full of pots, and I was like, I know exactly what the fuck I'm doing. I went through and I destroyed every single pot, and I don't know. I don't know. It made me happy. It was satisfying. I don't know why, but that was something I don't remember A Link to the Past ever doing.
You know where that came from?
Where? Please tell me.
Okay, so when I was doing the animations for Dust Pots, I had I mocked it up in like, you know, Flash, so that I could like swap out animations, and I would click on a pot and it would pop. And so I filled the room up with pots with different pop animations on them, and I would just sit there and I'd pop them, and I set them to respawn like every like randomly every like 15 to 30 seconds. So like I had so much fun smashing pots, like just like large amounts of pots that we decided to put a room filled with pots into the game so people could have fun smashing.
Whatever you
them.
do next, whatever follows Blossom Tales, please ensure that you do the same thing. I would really appreciate that.
Yeah.
And speaking of the next thing, we actually have another question. He stole a question from me, but I'm gonna give it to him anyway. At Anton HTZ on Twitter wants to know, what's next for Blossom Tales? I loved its style and gameplay, and I would love to see a follow-up.
Oh, what's next for Blossom Tales? You know what? Everything's kind of up in the air right now. We kind of see what happens on Twitch. I think we're looking into like porting it to some new languages, like Japanese. Looking into it at least. And then we've had a lot of people talking about a physical release, so that's something that might actually happen in the future. But again, I can't.
Oh yeah,
yeah, I
Would
can't.
You guys,
guarantee it.
Be looking at limited run or?
We don't even know yet.
Is that? I've actually just been curious from the dev business side of that. Decisions like that, is that up to you, or would that have to go through your benefactor? FDG.
Yeah, FDG. Yeah, I mean, they're pretty hands-off developers, so we're pretty hands-off on the business side. You know, everything that they do. So whatever FDG decides, and what, you know, they're way more experienced in, you know, like they have games like Ocean Horn and Monster Boy and stuff like that. Yeah. So I'm sure they have like calculations over there, and they're able to like, you know, gauge interest. And if they think that it would warrant a physical release, then yeah, I'm sure we'd see it happen. So
quick follow-up for you. How big is Castle Pixel in terms of like employees? How many people make up Castle Pixel?
Well, there's myself, then there's Tyler, who's basically Castle Pixel's lead programmer. There's Miguel, who's the writer. There's Josie, who does all the audio and music. And then we work pretty closely with a guy named Joe from the FDG team on things like game design. And, you know, he helped out a ton, like giving us really high level, you know, feedback from play testers and coordinating between us and FDG and stuff like that. So I would say, yeah, it's like a core team of 5 people.
Okay. That's awesome. It's always impressive when a game that good comes out of a team so small.
Yeah, you know, like A Link to the Past was made with like 30 some people, I think, something like that. So like I know that was like decades ago, but
well, you know,
it's hard.
Well, you know, and speaking of that, Robert, we actually have another question from at 10 from 10K. Actually, he's a friend of the show. He wants to know why you guys chose Monogame as your engine instead of the more widely supported and popular Unity and Unreal 4.
Well, you know, Monogame is pretty awesome. A lot of indie games are built on it. It allows you to port the game to, pretty much any platform today. Like, you can go from PC to Mac to Linux to Switch, PS4. I think Xbox One supports it now. iOS devices, Android. It goes anywhere with a screen. So
that's cool.
Yeah, we're working on like an iOS port of Blossom Tales as well. So might see that come out sometime.
Is it only 2D games that can be possible on that engine, or is it 3D as well?
You know what? I've never actually looked into like anything 3D, but yeah, I'm almost positive that it does. It's like uses the old XNA framework. So, anything you've ever seen made in XNA, yeah, it runs from on a game.
Cool.
So I have one more question. And it ties into something that somebody asked earlier. In regards to a sequel, if Blossom Tales ends up not getting a sequel, what do you think you're going to do next? Like, do you have an idea or kind of a roadmap for the future, not for Blossom Tales, but for Castle Pixel, as to kind of where you want to focus next?
You mean like on another game or what?
Yeah, or not, maybe not, or like a different genre, like like a turn-based RPG or horror or a platformer or something like that, or do you guys want to stick with the format you have now?
Right now we're really not sure. There's a ton of games that we want to make. Our first game was Rex Rocket, which was like a 2D platformer, and then we made Blossom Tales, which is like the Zelda-like. Personally, myself, I'd love to make some kind of really kind of chill simulator game.
That'd be cool.
We've kicked around doing like a vampire sim where you kind of like live as a vampire.
Sold.
And yeah. So yeah, again, right now it's all up in the air. We got to see what happens with.
Can I pitch a vampire farming simulator? So it's like farming simulator, but you have to do everything at night, and you can't see anything.
It's actually a really good idea, Chad. Oh, I love it, dude. That's fantastic.
Stardew Valley, but you come out at night.
Stardew.
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty much what I'm thinking.
There you go. We just focus tested your new game.
I am going to laugh my ass off. That's actually what it turns out to be. That is a fantastic idea. You guys need to copyright that immediately, because that's really good, Jeff. I'm fucking impressed, man.
I would like to add that I haven't played Blossom Tales. I watched Tim Rogers of Kotaku play it on Kotaku's YouTube channel, and it looks like a really fun game. And congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, no, seriously. I mean, I think it seems like this has been a huge success for you guys. And I mean, in a lot of ways, I mean, obviously, you had Rex Rocket, but it seems like Blossom Tales is going to be the one to really kind of help you guys carve that niche out in the in the indie scene and really kind of make a name for yourselves.
Yep. Hey, fingers crossed, right?
Dude, that's fucking outstanding, man. We couldn't be happier for you. Well, I wanted to move on to and of course, by the way, real quick, I want to highly recommend to everybody out there who has not played Blossom Tales to go pick it up. It's available on Steam, but really, honestly, this game was meant to be played on a Switch. I played it.
It's $15 American.
Yep, it's not expensive. It is a phenomenal game, especially if you love top-down 2D Zelda-like games, for lack of a better term. And
I hate to be pedantic, but it's actually $14.99.
Whatever, man. Whatever. Stop it. But no, it's a phenomenal game. And if you're looking for that traditional top-down 2D Zelda game on a Nintendo system right now, or at least the Switch, you are not going to find it. This is it for right now.
I agree with all the people today who said that they should have remastered 3D Dot Heroes instead of Dark Souls.
Oh man,
you are a monster.
3D Dot Heroes.
I like 3D Dot Heroes, but
you play Dark Souls on anything these days, but 3D Dot Game Heroes is stuck on last gen consoles. It'd be good on the Switch.
And whatever. I love my Dark Souls. Anyway, let's move on to talk about what we have all been playing over the past week. So Jay, you're going to be our timekeeper.
That's right. Just so that everyone knows, you guys only have 3 minutes each to talk about what you've been playing lately. If you go over 3 minutes, I will sound a horn. Last week we have the rap horn, but my phone is dead right now, so I will.
Don't worry, Jay, I got you.
No. I want to hear what Jay's got in store.
All right.
Okay, so we will start with Brandon.
Okay, I played, like I said before, Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy.
I've never even heard of that shit.
Yeah. Okay. Well, okay.
That game looks amazing.
Yeah. Have you heard of? I don't know how it's pronounced, but QWOP?
No.
QWOP is like the track running game, or like
it's
like
it's the game where you're trying to make a guy run like 100-meter dash, except like you have to control all his limbs separately.
Yeah, QWOP is awesome.
Yeah, so he runs like his legs are asleep or some shit.
I'm not just thinking about it.
Yeah. So this is a new game, and it's basically you're climbing up a mountain, but you control like a naked man and a boiling pot. Yeah, exactly. It's just really goofy in that way. It's a naked guy in a boiling pot, and you can only control his upper arms with the mouse, and he's got like a pickaxe basically in his hand, and you're just using your upper body strength to like pickaxe yourself, across and up this mountain, and so basically the controls are just really finicky. Like they're precise, and like once you figure out kind of the general gesture that each specific part of the mountain wants you to make, like what. So the thing about it is it's really easy to accidentally push yourself to the very, very bottom of the mountain at basically any point. You can fuck up badly enough to just go all the way back to the beginning and lose like literally hours of progress. So it's like a test of, internal fortitude.
I watched someone do a speed run of it. Like they completed it in like 3 minutes and 30 seconds, and I was like,
once the controls click and like the trick to getting through each part of the mountain, like it controls perfectly. Like you can do it. It's just that like getting used to the controls is really, really strange.
So I've never played. I want to ask a question. I've never played QWOP. I've never heard of QWOP. If you're playing QWOP, are you QWOPing?
Yeah, I suppose you would be.
Yep.
Okay, that's curious.
Isn't QWOP free as well as like a browser?
I think that was free.
Yeah.
This was what, $8 or something.
Yeah.
And you're not just going up in silence. He made this game, I suppose, to make a statement on the general state of the industry right now. It's like it's a very preachy sort of game. Yeah, it's narrated by the developer.
Isn't the developer like a professor somewhere?
Yeah, I don't know much about him.
I didn't know that. So like if you get to a certain point and you get like an audio line.
Exactly. As you're making progress up the mountain, you'll get narration when one of two things happens. Either you reach a new part of the mountain, or you fall a great distance, and he'll give you like some inspirational quotes to get you back, to get you going. And it'll play like old classical music, like Fallout sort of stuff.
Don't. You're up. Your time's up.
I was wondering.
That's the timer.
That's the timer tonight.
I thought it was just somebody being stupid.
That's
so did I. That was good though. That pretty much covered.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought that was
over it.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought that was Robert for a minute. I was like, dude, Robert is telling you to shut your mouth.
I was like, what did I
say? And speaking with Robert, let's move on to one of our guests. Robert, your 3 minutes starts as soon as you start talking. What have you been playing this week? Or a better question, do you have time to play anything? Working on Blossom Tales.
Yeah, I've actually I picked up a Switch to play Blossom Tales on.
Excellent.
So I've been playing Breath of the Wild on it. I got Minecraft. I got that Mario game, and that's it. But primarily, I've been playing the new Zelda game, which is freaking blowing my mind. I know it's nothing like, yeah, it is. It is just, it's so cool, and like I just get all these feelings of nostalgia whenever I play it, because they just have everything from like N64 Zelda in there, and it's just like, it's awesome. Like, I'm just loving the hell out of it.
So. The level of detail in that world in Breath of the Wild and Hyrule just absolutely blows my mind. Like if there's a barrel full of food next to a bomb or a fire, and you shoot a fire arrow at something and you blow it up, the food inside the barrel is cooked when you pick it up.
Yeah,
like like little details like that.
Your bow is like halfway broken, so you can't use it anymore.
You know what? If you can't, you know what? I'm not going to accept that here. I'm not
Robert,
going to.
we have discussed Breath of the Wild in length here at SCGC.
Yeah,
we have very widely different.
Out of respect to our esteemed guests, I am just gonna say it's a good game.
Guys, let Robert finish speaking. It's Robert's turn. Let him finish speaking. Robert, please continue. I apologize for these barbarians.
No, it's cool. I understand. Let's see. What else have I been playing? I actually got Rocket League on the Switch too. Which
JT is now your best friend.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun to play on there, especially being able to like walk. It's like it's portable Rocket League, so it's so cool.
What platform do you mostly play it on now, JT?
PC.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, I grabbed Rocket League on my Switch over the holidays, and it's like the 5-minute matches are just so perfect for it.
Yeah, right. I think it's a really nice fit on the Switch for it.
Well, Robert, the thing I like about it is that like I don't even like. Yeah, it doesn't look as good as it does on the PS4 or the Xbox One, but it's so fun to play wherever I want. I don't even care.
Yeah, exactly. That's part of the Switch magic. It's like you can take your games like anywhere. It's so cool.
They got a visual upgrade too. Like they're constantly like working on it. They're patching it, so it's not as rough as it was on launch too. So it's only up from here.
It runs good. Like
it does.
It runs just as good as it did on base PS4 when I first played it when it came out.
Plus, it's got a Metroid car. It's got a Samus car, so that's all I need.
Yeah, right. Metroid car, right?
That's literally all I care about. That's all I.
That's pretty much why I bought it, for the Metroid car.
I like the Mario sound when you jump. Like I love that little touch. Like it's got like.
That was the best.
I love Rocket League.
This is the wave beam trail from the Samus car. Sorry. That's the best. Robert,
I see Rocket League stress ball.
Dope.
Yeah, I've got it right here. I've got.
Oh,
is
that my bell?
Is that okay? I guess it's time's up. Miguel, what about you, man? What have you been playing over the past week?
I mean, to be honest, what I've been playing is Blossom Tales because I haven't touched this since a little bit before the Steam release. But before that, I was playing Super Mario Odyssey, which what hasn't been said about that game already. It's
another masterpiece.
Yeah, it's incredible. I've always been next to Zelda. Mario's always been one of my favorite series, and ever since Mario 64, which I feel this game really resembled. I feel like they went back to the sandbox feel, and it's just been a blast. It's been the funnest I've had. Most fun I've had with Mario since probably Galaxy, which I also like too. But, it's awesome. With help from my wife, she gets the easy ones, but we already got $9.99 moons. So.
God damn, nice. Dude, I'm on 650. I will get 999 eventually.
You mentioned playing with your wife. I love how easy it is to just like take the Joy-Cons off and give the other Joy-Con to whoever, and suddenly you're playing with Mario and they're playing with Cappy, and it's just like seamless like that.
This podcast has officially become like a Nintendo Switch love fest.
Nintendo's kind of got this video game thing figured out.
They really do. They're doing a good job. I've actually got a question for Miguel while it's still his turn. You mentioned that you were playing Blossom Tales a lot, which doesn't surprise me as you're one of the people who made the game. But as you're playing it sometimes, do you ever think to yourself like, man, I wish I'd have gone back and done this instead? Or like, man, I wish we'd have done this differently? Or man, I wish I'd used a different piece of dialogue here. Like, do you ever have thoughts like that?
Yeah, mainly it's if I see like a grammatical error, it's what drives me crazy.
Do you ever call Robert? You're like, we have to patch this immediately. Or
this guy are sick.
Guy are sick.
Patch notes 45. Add a comma to sentence.
Yeah, I have a little list that we're gonna send over when we do a patch. But yeah, those are the things I spot mostly. Things like that. I know right now, the knights, even after a certain thing happens in Blossom Tales, it's kind of a spoiler. Knights still keep referring to what was before it, and when I notice that, I'm like, but how it is sometimes. Sorry, I can't be specific because it's a spoiler, but
no, I appreciate that.
Sometimes there are places where I wish I would have snuck just another reference or Easter egg or something dumb that no one will ever notice but me.
Well, I mean, I'm just gonna throw it out there. Whatever you guys decide to do next, whether it be a sequel to Blossom Tales or a different game entirely, if you want to make references to this podcast, I'm not gonna tell you you can't. I'm not gonna tell you you shouldn't. I'm not gonna tell you to do it. I'm just saying.
Ready to rumble?
I'm just saying. Miguel,
if you guys need like a comic relief character just for the background, John is a very comically looking dude.
Fuck you too, Jeff. Jesus. I don't know how I feel about that, man. Like, wow. Holy shit. You're off the podcast.
All right. Who is next?
Yeah, so I think we got let's do you know what? Let's do JT next.
All right, JT.
Cool. So I've been playing a couple I'm trying to be fast. I've been playing a couple games. One, I've been playing Digimon Cyber Sleuth, which is awesome, and Rex Novus is totally vindicated. You can go all the way back to like episode 26 or whatever that was, where he rambled about that forever, and we all made fun of him. But it is so fun, just being able to like, because I mean, you really are. You're like a detective, and you get these cases, and you go out exploring in these dungeons, trying to solve the cases, and it really does feel like very original in that way. But also the part that I'm having the most fun with is the like raising the Digimon. Like you can have this digital farm and they like all level up on their own, and you don't have to like worry about like, oh, I have this. Like it does away with a lot of the BS that I don't like about Pokemon, in which you have to like have these very specific people with you. You can only use one at a time. Like it's just very non-restrictive. So I'm enjoying that a lot.
I just want to point out, JT, it sounded like I just heard a dog's chew toy.
That was not me. Sorry.
Okay. Oh, that's me. He's like, sorry, no, that's my dog.
Jay's got me so on edge with weird noises that I'm like, how is this time already up? Like, what was that? JT,
okay, you're using my time. So the second game I've been playing is this. It's this visual novel. It's called Little Red Lie by Will O'Neill, and so it's essentially a visual novel, but it details two very different kind of contrasting main characters. It's Sarah Stone, who is like worked temp jobs her whole life, and she lives with her parents and stuff. And Arthur Fox, this like motivational speaker, this very like outright, like forthcoming guy. And the main mechanic of the game is you have dialogue choices, and they're all like your inner monologue, but whenever you pick them, they're lies. So like it's all about the lies that you tell to yourself, and then the outward appearance that you kind of project onto other people in your daily life. And Will O'Neill has this really I think unique style of writing in his game. He's the guy who made Actual Sunlight, a game about depression, and he has a style of writing that really kind of hits home in some places. Like, man, that's me. Like he's talking about me right there. It's a very like realistic, down to earth. It's less of a video game. It's more of a story that you like. It feels like it applies to you. So it's really compelling. It's really grabbing me right now. We were given a review copy. I know that Jay has one of them, and I might try and say a little bit about it too. But I'm enjoying what I'm going through of it right now. It's really unique, and I love my good stories. So yeah,
awesome, dude.
You're done.
that wasn't as good, Jay.
I know that wasn't good at all.
Let's go on to Jeff. I want to move on to Jeff next. Jeff, what are you playing this week, bud?
I'm alternating between two very different games. I'm playing Night in the Woods, which I just started. I just finished Assassin's Creed Origins like a couple weeks ago, and I need to decompress from such a big game. So I got Night in the Woods, and then I'm eventually going to play Tacoma and Her Story, just a couple of short ones, knock them all out. Yeah, Night in the Woods is really it's really good. I watched no trailers for it. I went on purely just on the title and like word of mouth. So I didn't really know what to expect, but it's just like it's so relatable. It's like they're all animals, right? It's this town, and you play this cat called May or Mai. I don't know exactly how to pronounce it. And you're basically just coming back from college. You dropped out, and it's just kind of all about, so far at least to me, like kind of just being stuck in this kind of dead end town and the conversations you have with people and kind of reconnecting after time away. And it's like really, yeah, just really relatable and personal and down to earth. And I'm really enjoying the writing. It's got this like quirky sense of humor that really walks that line between almost try hard, but it doesn't quite go that far with something like Life is Strange maybe does sometimes. So I think they nailed the balance there. Like almost everything people say is funny to some degree, where you just got like a little smirk on your face. So I've been playing that, and then based on our Game of the Year episode where we had Anthony on and he just sung the praises for Nier Automata, I've been playing Nier. Despite the fact that the day before that, I vowed on Twitter never to play that game again, and I traded it.
You made a Twitter account specifically for playing through that game.
So
I did, yeah, so I can post spoilers and stuff without having to worry about people on my main feed getting all mad. So I finished the game once, and it was thoroughly mediocre, but I am told I just have to play through it entire second time, and then it will start getting good.
Yeah, no big deal.
Yeah, so, I mean, I did power through my first playthrough in 5.5 hours, so it wasn't like a huge...
What, 5.5 hours? Holy
It's not an incredibly long game.
Yeah, it's like 10 or 11 if you do side quests. I didn't, and I mean, it's pretty straightforward. You just go from A to B and fight bosses. It's not even really an RPG in that sense. Like, it's just, yeah, like, there's no quests associated with the main story. You're just going from location to location and then fighting a boss there.
I mean, I'm about 2 hours into it myself.
Yeah. So it's fine. Like, it's not a terrible game. I've kind of come around on it a little bit. There's some interesting stuff there. It's very JRPG right now, like especially some of the writing. I just don't feel like it's doing what I wanted to with the issues. And then the end of the game, I watched the final cutscene, and 2B's dress was like totally torn off. So she's walking around in her underwear in like this super serious scene. And then I looked it up on YouTube, and it wasn't like that. Apparently, it's like dynamic, but it just like really took me out of the moment. And I was like, why does this even exist?
Hi, Caramba.
Yeah,
Caramba.
Yeah.
You're also
that was kind of weird. But anyways, I'll for sure reveal my final thoughts on it once I'm finished.
What are your thoughts on playing Metal Gear Rising?
So after this, assuming God of War is still a few months away, I want to get to Resident Evil 4 and Metal Gear Rising. I got them both lined up, ready to go.
I mean, Nier's combat does not reach previous Platinum games. So, like, you can expect a better combat system than Nier.
I mean, Nier's also not a character action game.
Yeah, exactly. It's still a Platinum game, and it does have flashy combat, but not the same thing.
Jeff, anything else?
No, that's about it.
All right. Well, since so I want to bounce off of Jeff, and I want to go next, and then we'll go Jay, and then we'll close out with Finn. So obviously, other than Blossom Tales, which I finished, and it's a wonderful, amazing game. I am powering through Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I am at the very last chapter. I'm about to finish the game, and I would love to talk about.
Why are you doing this to yourself?
Because I spent fucking $60 on it. I'd already put 75 hours into it. I'm gonna finish the fucking game.
Does that include the like 15 hours you've lost through various?
Okay, so 7 hours. 7 hours that I lost, and it's probably actually closer to 85. This is a long fucking game. And here's the thing, right? It's a good game. It's a good game, despite its attempts to convince me otherwise. It's a good game. There are just a lot of systems in there that don't make sense. The character design is just completely off the chart. In some places, it's cool.
What doesn't make sense to you?
What's that?
What doesn't make sense to you?
What the story is just. The story only really starts making sense at the very end of the game. Like for the first 80 hours of the game, I was fucking lost. I'm like, I don't. What the fuck is happening? The character designs are really like, I have a hard time taking anything seriously when Pyra or Mithra are on screen, especially Pyra. I'm just like, I can't fucking handle this. Like, especially when there's scenes where she's like, reach out and touch my chest, Rex, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't. I can't. Like, that's actually a thing that she says. Touch my chest. And he's like,
it's for the plot.
You're too old for this game.
Yeah, I probably am.
You mentioned like some of the systems don't make sense. Like, do you mean like the mechanics of the combat, or?
Well, so the tutorial, like the tutorials in this game are horrible. There's some of the worst tutorials. There's blade combos and elemental combos and driver combos.
Have you seen Video Game Donkey's video on it?
I haven't yet.
Okay, I'll link it to you. You'll enjoy it.
Yeah, once it clicks for you, it is freaking awesome.
No, like here's the thing. I like eventually it clicked, but it took 50 hours for it to click, and that's too fucking long. And the game doesn't do a good job, and I don't think anybody will argue this. The game doesn't do a good job of telling you about all the intricacies of the combat system. And here's the other thing that bugs me. There will be time. I mean, some of these battles just with regular enemies go on way too fucking long. Unacceptably long. Like, if I've got 3 characters who are powered by 3 different characters taking 7 minutes to kill a fucking rabbit, like that to me is
like a level beneath you.
Yeah, I'm just like, what?
But you've got that good combat dialogue to keep you going.
Oh my god, the combat dialogue, dude. Over and over. So what's his face? Tora, the Nopon, is the worst JRPG character in the history of the genre.
I agree.
In the history of the genre, every time I refuse to use him, because every time you bring Tora into combat, you can expect to hear every fucking time. Am I done?
You're done.
Am I done? All right, whatever. Tumbly. All right.
All right, I will go right now.
All right, go, Jay.
All right, cool. So I haven't really been playing too much this week. I've been playing Yakuza 0, which I absolutely love. Everyone here should know that by now, that I absolutely love it.
I need to play that.
I've gotten so bored. Please don't sue me, Sega. I've been like ripping like the dance music because there's like a mini game where you can dance in the club, and I've been slowing them down in Ableton, so it's kind of like video game vaporware. So that's been fun. I have way too much free time on my hands. And sometimes you can speed, like when you speed up the music, it makes it into like K-pop idol music. It's really fun. I've been playing a lot of NBA 2K18 because I've been coming home from work tired, and I haven't really been like wanting to play a game where I have to like focus. So that's been cool. I guess I can talk about what I'm about to play this weekend because I have a long weekend this weekend.
Is it Galgun?
Oh yeah, okay. So I will explain the story. So I got $10 free to PSN like a couple hours ago, and Galgun's on sale for $10. So I was like, I'll buy Galgun. I mean, like all sarcastic, and Finn's like, I have a code for you. So I'm going to accept that code.
Better than Bad Rats.
And I will review it for our podcast.
Go. I literally just sent it to you, Jay. It is now yours. You are the
all right, cool. I will review this for our podcast, and I will post my impressions online
for science.
I not video game related, but not like playing wise. I finished reading Blood, Sweat, and Pixels this week.
Oh,
nice.
Awesome.
Yeah, my girlfriend gifted me a copy of it for Christmas, and I absolutely enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the Stardew Valley chapter. Like,
okay. I was gonna ask what was your favorite chapter.
Yeah, I think it's the Stardew Valley or like the Shovel Knight. And I don't like Shovel Knight as a game, but like reading about the development of the game was like, intriguing. Like I really enjoyed reading about it. And
the Obsidian chapter was kind of eye-opening for me.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of them were eye-opening.
Yeah. I mean, that book is great at like giving a behind-the-scenes look at a lot of the struggles that companies go through to deliver these games that we all love.
Mm-hmm. And a physical copy of that book's not expensive. I think it's only like $10 on Amazon most of the time. So if you have not read it yet, you should read it because it's a great read, especially if you like video games.
Yeah, I had a friend read it who doesn't even play or care about video games, and they were just like, "Oh my god, like it's a miracle these things get made and exist."
Yeah. And I'm gonna play Little Red Lie this weekend. JT's already talked about it, but I'm gonna review it, and I'm I'm excited to play it, and like my timer just went off, so I'm gonna make a ding ding, ding ding, ding ding, ding. And yeah, I'm done. Thank you, Finn, for Galgun. Yeah. How do I get myself into this?
You are in for a treat.
Okay, I'm gonna redeem it right now.
Okay.
Oh, Finn, you can go.
No, I haven't heard what your end of time sound is yet.
I say ding ding. Ding,
Oh, you
ding.
did? Okay.
Yeah, I did.
Well, I didn't play too terribly much this week, but I did start and beat a fairly short indie game that kind of took over last holiday, but I never really got around it till now. It's a Doki Doki Literature Club.
Oh no, not you too.
Dude.
What is this game?
So good. I have a soft spot for the visual novel genre to begin with. And everyone was like, go in not knowing anything about it. All I knew about it was that the disclaimer prominently displayed at the start is this game is not suitable for children or those prone to being like upset easily. The content warnings and trigger warnings were off the chart. And I'm playing this, and I'm not going to get into any spoils because I refuse to do that as a disservice to anybody, because this is a free-to-play game that is worth a couple hours of your time.
Sorry about that, guys.
The first couple hours is a standard, like, super anime, super weeaboo dating simulator where you're in a new club with a couple girls and you have to pick which one you want to get to like you. And then a certain event occurs, and then a lot of stuff goes down, and the game hits you in ways you never would have expected. And that's literally all I can say without giving too much away.
Yeah, that sounds like
enough. If you know where the game is going, you're wrong unless you looked it up ahead of time. And in chat, Kogasu, yes, it is a psychological horror game. It is ridiculous and so damn good, even if it's...
Finn, sorry, I dropped. Are you talking about Doki Doki?
Yes, I am.
I need to play that.
Have you played it?
Yeah,
No,
I need to
you
play
haven't played
it too.
And it's free.
If you haven't yet, it's free. You have no excuse. It's only a couple hours of your time.
You should totally stream it this weekend, John. I want to watch that.
Finn, I'm gonna call you. Finn, I'm gonna call you out. This code does not work.
Gasp.
Oh shit.
Hold on, let me send you the next one.
You sent him a
Thank
fake
God.
Galgun
All right, and
code?
I forgot to start the timer, so I'm gonna say that your time.
No, it's fine. So I just wanted to say, like, it's
No,
really...
your time's up, Finn. Your time's up.
No. Let him say one more thing.
Well, all I'll say then is play it, and also to Miguel and Robert, for people that are loving their Switch, I'm going to highly and emphatically recommend Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle as the next game you buy on it, because it is phenomenal.
That's definitely been on my list.
Yeah, mine too, actually.
Make it a priority. That game is absolutely insane, and I think John would agree with me on that one.
Yeah, no, dude. I'll be out of town this weekend, but what's it on? PS4, Switch?
It's on Steam.
No, I was talking about Mario and Rabbids. Would you agree with
Mario
me?
and Rabbids. Sorry.
Yeah.
I was looking
No, Doki Doki is Steam only.
But it can like run like on a laptop.
It's a visual novel, yeah.
Yeah.
Like
It won't require much.
it shouldn't crash on you like PUBG does.
Yeah.
It does. I mean, God bless your soul.
All right, so I want to move on to a topic that I have been very interested in talking about, and Robert, Miguel, please feel free to jump in and chime in. I would love to get you guys' takes on this. So, for the past 2 weeks, social media, gaming social media to be specific, has been obsessed with the idea of a Nintendo Direct that, of course, happened this morning. But yesterday, things kind of hit a fever pitch when a lot of the rumor mill started churning, and the thread on Reset Era started spinning up, and then based on all the leaks, people started saying, okay, well, they're going to announce it any minute. They're going to announce it any minute, and hour after hour after hour, it kept not getting announced, and the thread only started spinning up even faster. In fact, it got to the point where Nibel had to actually close the thread down for a while because it was moving too fast. People were posting so many GIFs, it was clocking the site up. And then Nintendo tweeted a picture of Chibi Robo burning with his arms in the air, and gaming Twitter lost its collective fucking mind. Reset Era lost its fucking mind. They actually replaced the Reset Era logo. Yeah. They replaced the T with Chibi Robo burning. People started changing their avatars.
It was full-on meltdown mode.
It was
unbelievable.
Complete meltdown. Yeah.
People started changing their avatars in Reset Era to Chibi Robo burning. I found a GIF that I tweeted out, and it was a scene from Nier Automata where the robots are in a circle of torches, and Chibi Robo was in the middle, and it's gotten like 2,000 likes and like 800 retweets. And people are just going fucking nuts over this thing. And
did you see the edit of the rowboat scene from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory?
I did. Yes. Yeah. I mean, people lost their fucking minds over this direct. And so when the news hit this morning that, hey, it's going to be a 15-minute direct, it's going to be a mini direct, and they're just going to drop it, people were like, whatever, we don't care. Holy shit. And then it dropped, and it was a bunch of ports. No Fire Emblem, no Metroid, no Smash Brothers, no nothing. Just a bunch of ports. And a Kirby game, which is fine. I was fine with
new content. Yeah,
I was fine with it. But then a lot of those same people on Reset Era said, "Well, we are very disappointed."
It's good ports. I mean, like fucking Donkey Kong Country, Tropical Freeze. That's
one of the best 2D platformers of all time.
Yeah, Dark Souls.
So I wanted to ask you guys. What does that say about gamer hype culture and kind of because I mean this thing really snowballed quickly. And you know, people, and even when people heard the rumors this morning, or not even the rumors, the reports this morning that it's going to be 15 minutes long and there's not going to be a huge first party presence, people just didn't give a shit. They didn't care. They didn't want to listen. And then they got disappointed when it was exactly that. So I wanted to get your guys' opinions on that because that thread was, I've never seen anything like that. I've never seen anything like that. Go ahead.
I think it's absolutely funny about how this is like probably the most marketing that Nintendo or any game publisher has ever done for a Nintendo Direct, and it's just a mini Direct full of ports. And that's not me like saying like, oh, I'm upset like the Direct's just full of ports. I'm like, it's just absolutely crazy that like it pretty much turns to like a meme that like, you know, Nintendo tweet out the chibi, and then everyone's like copped onto it, and then like everyone's like, oh my god, this is gonna be like the best thing ever. So everyone goes like crazy about it. And as you say, like Reset Era even hopped onto the trend. Like,
I mean, dude, developers were tweeting back at them.
Yeah, I mean, do you get what I'm trying to say though? Like, I think it's like the most engagement like I've ever seen for Nintendo Direct.
And for a 15-minute Direct too.
Yeah, like it's absolutely insane, and like I don't know, like I'm not upset the Direct is full of ports. I mean, I don't own a Switch, but a lot of those games I played on the Wii U, like Tropical Freeze, and I absolutely love them. So I'm glad more people will get the chance to play them. But like I think it's more or less it was people just hyping themselves up like way too much for a Nintendo Direct.
I just thought it was funny because like people just absolutely lost their minds the day before, and then I woke up and there's like, you know, 10 new announcements, and I'm like, hey, cool. And these guys just spent like the entire day just like freaking just literally turning into a child and just blah 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 blah.
There were people on Reset Era saying, I'm leaving work because I want to follow the thread.
Yeah, I was like, wow.
One of my favorite moments about Nintendo Direct is like I never seen this post on the other site, and they were like, I think like the dude's wife is like, oh, she's having like her pregnancy test today. It's like I need to like leave and like go watch the Direct. Like
that's unbelievable. Holy shit, dude.
Like people get way too excited for these Directs, and like the thing is like it's fun to watch them live, and this one wasn't really even live. It was just kind of like all announced at once. But like you could always go back and like look at it later.
I mean, you know, like what got me was the guy on Reset Era who's like, I'm at work right now, and I've got to go home because I got to follow the thread. I was like, dude, you don't deserve your job. Like, holy shit. And that sounds like a harsh thing to say, but people, you know, like we constantly do this, right? Like, and it all ties back to leaker culture, right? And you know, we get all these leaks, And and a lot of this we've known about for months. Like, hasn't the Dark Souls thing? I mean, that's been rumored and reported on for, it feels like, since the Switch launched. People have said Dark Souls is coming.
Since the From Software logo showed up for the Switch.
Yeah, people were like, "Oh, okay, there it is. Dark Souls is coming." What, like, but I don't know. Like, I want to ask Robert, like, as a developer yourself, like, when you see stuff like this, do you think to yourself, like, do you think to yourself, "Holy shit, I wish we'd like, I wish we'd have gotten a piece of that. Like, I wish we could have mentioned some Blossom Tales DLC or the game itself." Because I mean, like, I don't know what goes through your head when you see something like that.
I'm sorry, when you see something like what, the Nintendo Direct video?
No, not the Direct. The like all the ridiculous,
the anticipation.
Hype.
Oh,
Leading up
yeah.
to
I mean,
Direct.
you know, it's Nintendo fans. They're crazy about Nintendo stuff, so it's expected. I'm crazy about Nintendo stuff. I liked the Nintendo Direct when it came out. I wasn't like, you know, going crazy about it or anything, but you know, I was looking forward to it. I got pumped about some of the games in the video. Like, I thought it looked pretty good for being a Nintendo Direct, you know.
Yeah,
but that was just me.
Well, I mean, that's what I don't get is, you know, people were complaining about the content of the Direct. They said, "Oh, there's no Metroid, there's no Smash Brothers, there's no."
Those are still definitely on my, like, hey, when are these coming? Because I want them now. But
exactly,
I think
the other games in there look great, like Donkey Kong. But yes, please.
Well, and I never got I skipped the Wii U, right? Because I was, you know, I was like, I can't do this anymore, Nintendo. I skipped the Wii U. And now that I never got to play Hyrule Warriors. I never got to play Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. I never got to play Bayonetta 2. And so even though I wasn't the biggest fan of the first Bayonetta, I'd like to play Bayonetta 2.
You just named 3 games that all deserve to be played by new people
on a vastly superior system, a vastly better system. These games which were sent out to die in a system that nobody fucking bought are being given a chance to live again and flourish again. Like, I saw the video, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. I mean, it looks fucking amazing.
It's so good. I played it on Wii U. I absolutely loved it.
Yeah, you guys
know I don't.
I beat it somehow, and I still don't know how. Because you can only play that game with the Wii U tablet. You can't play it with the Pro Controller.
No, you can play it with the Pro Controller.
I can't. Yeah, it's hard as fuck. That's how I did beat it. That's how I did beat it. Yeah, that game is hard.
That's a difficult.
That's one of my favorites from the Wii U, and I got all the coins and everything. I'm glad more people will get to play it.
Like, dude, I don't even usually enjoy 2D platformers. I just usually find them too hard or frustrating. But like, I couldn't stop playing it. Just the art and the music,
the soundtrack. It's David Wise's best part.
Yeah, the soundtrack's amazing.
Well, and you guys know how I feel about Dark Souls. Like, you guys know how I feel about Dark Souls, and to know and understand that I will be able to take the best Dark Souls game with me wherever I go is literally the fulfillment of a dream I have had since fall 2011 when I first played that game. I was like, I wish I could take this game with me. What's that?
Is it akin to being able to take Rocket League wherever you go?
It's better than that. It's better than that. It's a lot better than that. Because now I can Souls Bro wherever I want, whenever I want. I can play that game in fucking bed. I can play it in the toilet. I dropped probably 400 hours into the first Dark Souls alone.
Can I play the Debbie Downer here for a second?
Please.
Praise the Lord.
Like, I mean, Dark Souls is a great game, and it's a big announcement for Switch. It's more third-party support, which they need, but I still feel like this is kind of not the Wii U situation, but how old is Dark Souls?
I mean, right? So that's a valid point. You're talking about a 6.5-year-old game.
Yeah, and it's just like, okay, that's great, but it needs to lead to more. And we've had, Switch has almost been out for a year now, and it's like, okay, we got Skyrim, we got Dark Souls, we got LA Noire. I know Bethesda's done Doom and they're doing Wolfenstein, but it's like I understand, like, these big, huge current gen games. Most of them, a lot of them aren't going to run on Switch just due to the nature of them. But there is some that will, and those ones need to start coming. And I hope these are successful and that they encourage other people to bring them, because at some point people are going to stop doing this, and they need to start making the commitment. I'm assuming From is kind of putting Dark Souls 1 out to test the waters, and then see if they're going to bring 2 and 3.
A lot of people were talking about it today. Like, I looked at the trending topics on Twitter, and The top trend. I mean, Dark Souls was trending on Twitter at the very top today, and I never would have imagined that. And I honest to God think it's because it's on the Switch. I think if it had just come out as a remaster for the PS4 and the Xbox One, I don't think you would have heard as much talk about it, because I think people are just that excited about the Switch as a console. Like, I guess Aaron Greenberg at Xbox just leaked the NPD numbers, and I guess Switch won December. Which I would,
Switch, then Xbox, then PS4.
Yeah. Which I mean, the Switch has won more NPDs this year than it's lost, or last year than it's that it's lost. I mean, it is the fastest selling console in U.S. history now, at least over its first year or 10-month period, or whatever it was. I mean, it's outpacing the Wii.
And I want to play everything on it.
And that's my thing. That is why I think you saw Dark Souls trending as highly as it did on Twitter days, because people just want to play their games in the system. It is. I want to play. I am right there with you, JT. I want to play everything on my Switch. If I could bring all my games on my Switch, I would. I don't care that they don't run as well as they do on the PS4. I don't care that the frame rate is probably not as good as it is on the PS4. I just want to play everything on my Switch and take it wherever I go. And
you're not alone. You're not alone. There's a lot of people who want.
Yeah. But which is why I think it's so smart for Robert and Miguel, you guys focusing on the Switch like you are. I mean, obviously it's paid off for you.
How long until Rockstar gets GTA 5 on the Switch?
Oh, that's coming. I guarantee you that's coming.
It's gonna be like GTA 5 Pocket Edition.
It'll sell a bajillion copies.
It will. I mean, yeah. No, I guarantee you that is coming. I mean, Robert, let me ask you: are you surprised at all by the Switch's success? Like, one bit?
No, yeah. I mean, a little bit, but not really. I mean, the Switch it's amazing. Like, you see like comparison videos between the Switch and the PS4, and it's like, oh yeah, look at how much like more crap is in the PS4 version, and then they show the Nintendo side, but like I think it's more the context around the actual games, like. They can show you a PS4 version of like Skyrim, but it's on your TV set. Like you're not in bed playing it. Like you said, you're not on the toilet playing it. The Switch can go anywhere. It's really awesome. So I'm not really surprised. I mean, it's a really great console. Like I'm the same way. I want every game on my Switch. I want to be able to take it with me. If I'm going on a road trip, I want to have my games.
Well, I think that is why you saw as much. I think that is partially the reason you saw as much hype as you did, talking about hype culture. I think that's the reason you saw that thread on Reset Era and people on Twitter just blowing up the way they did is because it was the Switch, not because there's so much excitement around what that console can do. I think if you were talking about, like, let's say just like a PlayStation conference, I don't think you would have gotten even a fraction of that hype. Or same goes with an Xbox conference. Like, I don't think you would have gotten a I mean, if you guys disagree, tell me. But I don't think you would have gotten anywhere near that level of excitement.
No, I mean, especially considering the fact that you play Dark Souls, the Xbox 360 version on your Xbox One already.
Right now, you can play it right now, and apparently it runs great, right? Like it upscales and it runs great.
I mean, I haven't played it because I don't really like Dark Souls, but yeah, I heard it runs well.
And I would not be surprised to see the Dark Souls version of Switch or the Switch version sell better than the PS4 version or the Xbox One version. I wouldn't be surprised to see it outsell.
I don't know. In Japan, they have some competition with that trilogy box set.
Yeah, but that thing is $450, which I was not aware when I saw it on Twitter today. I exploded. I was like, "Holy shit, that's mine!" And then I saw the price tag. I was like, "No, I'm good."
Brad, you're still gonna buy that?
No, I'd rather be
saving your pennies in your piggy bank.
No, I've already got an expensive Samus statue.
I think Nintendo did a great job by making this like a mini direct and not like an actual direct. I know a lot of people are upset there's not like any big game news, but I think this is more like a direct to be like, hey, this is what's coming out in the next couple of months, and this is what you can look forward to.
I agree, but let me ask you guys this, and this is a question for everybody. Do you think that Nintendo might have accidentally fanned the flames too high? Because at the end of the day, it was just a 15-minute direct. And as satisfied as I was with it, it was just a mostly ports and DLC.
You can't blame Nintendo. They're gonna promote their own thing on social media. That's fine. It's purely the ridiculous expectations of the community to like set themselves up for
this is not Nintendo's fault at all.
Every time someone teases something, people get the most ridiculous expectations possible, and it nothing ever lives up.
I mean,
I think it's
before,
awesome. We got like at least 10 new like ports or releases or like news. Like if you're not happy about that, then like
people just need to rein in their expectations.
Chill out. Yeah.
In general.
I mean, we got some new stuff. Like we got the new Mario Tennis game, which is not like a big title, but
that looks so dope.
But
but like honestly, it's something that happens with every single video game announcement that's teased ever. Like what? Remember when people were like all hyped for? It was just like not even 2 weeks ago. People were like getting themselves all hyped up for like the fucking Devil May Cry announcement,
and then it was a mobile game. It was a mobile game.
People are literally expecting Devil May Cry 5, and it's like this mobile. But like, set your expectations at a reasonable level.
I mean, pretty much what happened was like Nintendo tweeted that image, and that image just kind of like circulated and became like this like huge meme because it's like, oh, it's on fire, Chibi's on fire, which means like this directs them be.
It's gonna be fire. It's gonna be fire.
And like Nintendo took that chance of everyone being like, oh, like this is super exciting, and they went with it because like it generated interest, and because of all the interest, people were more interested, not knowing they're gonna get ports and whatnot. I mean, I think it was just a direct just full of ports. Like everyone like tuned in for it.
What I think is great is that like they tweeted Chibi Robo on fire, and there was no Chibi Robo at all anywhere within that 15 minutes.
I think
what is Chibi Robo? Is that like
Chibi,
a Wii game?
Chibi is I don't know what Chibi is. He's like a plug or something like that. There's a Chibi 3DS game that came from.
Yeah, it looks like an electrical plug.
Hold on, hold on. I think
exactly what he is.
I think Miguel, what were you trying to say?
I think it was like a reference to Praise the Sun.
That's what I think too. Yep.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay, now I get it.
Looking back on it, somebody had posted a picture of Solaire praising the sun, and then Chibi Robo on fire right next to him. And I was like, now I get it. Okay, like that was good. But I was convinced Fire Emblem was going to be there because Nintendo tweeted out, and then they retweeted that picture of the parrot from Mario Odyssey, and it was like, oh, there's a secret here. Scraw, find me. And in the corner, you can see he's blocking out the letters of a billboard, all the letters except for FE. And I was like, oh, Fire Emblem. Like, there it is. I found it, right? Like, we're getting Fire Emblem. And, of course, there was no Fire Emblem to be had.
It was Balloon World.
What's that?
It was Balloon World.
It was Balloon World. Balloon Chase, Balloon Party, or yeah. That was a little disappointing when Luigi popped up. I was like, oh shit, we can play as Luigi, and like, nope, you can't.
No. We get a tennis game where you can play as Waluigi.
Waluigi looks really hot in that tennis game.
Oh yeah.
Can we talk about how he's not wearing his hat? Like you can see his hair.
He's running
he's got these like flowing locks.
That's like really hot.
It is. Yeah.
No, I'm
serious.
It's the first time I've ever heard Waluigi described as hot.
Hey guys, sorry to interrupt, but I have to take off early here. But I just wanted to thank you all a ton for having me.
No, dude,
thank
absolutely.
you so much for coming on.
No, dude, it's been. Before you go, do you want to tell people where they can find you?
Yeah, I'm on Twitter as Robbie the Robot with a 0 for the first O, and you can also keep track of Castle Pixel, Twitter at Castle Pixel, and Facebook /Castle Pixel. And yeah.
Awesome, dude. It was a real honor having you on, man. Seriously, thank you so much for coming.
It really was.
Totally.
Thank you so much, Robert.
Yeah, thanks for having us. Good luck with the rest of the podcast.
Not a problem at all, man.
You too.
Good night.
All right. See you guys.
In fact, I think we're probably gonna go. We should probably go ahead and wrap it up here.
We're about done here.
Yeah, we're bumping up against our time, and I've got a long drive down to Savannah tomorrow. So I've got.
You're gonna be in town this weekend.
I will actually.
Cool.
Oh shit.
I will when I'm down in. I'm gonna go take care of my mother who just had surgery. But when I get down there, I'll shoot you a DM, man.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I meant to tell you that earlier, actually, Jack.
And you're gonna take your Switch with you, I'm sure.
You're damn right. I'm taking my.
Are we gonna get another video of some hot 1-2 switch action again?
It's gonna be, dude. It's gonna be sexy. I'm gonna make it real sexy for you. But Finn, just like Mandy said, you look me in the fucking eye when you're milking. Okay.
I want to thank our guest Robert, who just left, and Miguel so much for being on tonight.
Yeah, seriously. No, dude, Miguel, it was a real pleasure having you on, man.
No, it's been a pleasure being here. It's a great experience.
Do you want to tell people where they can find you on Twitter?
Yeah, my Twitter is gr8, like great gr8 Sayaman 88.
Which gotta give credit to that great name. There's not we need more Dragon Ball love in this podcast.
Oh, I like Dragon Ball.
All right. We're gonna wrap it up here. I gotta get to bed. We got some. Don't forget, guys. We got PAX East coming up. I'll be there. Finn will be there. JT, you'll be there. And Maddie will be there as well.
Can I say one thing before we close off?
Please.
Next week's gonna be our 100th episode.
Oh shit!
Woo!
We gotta do something special.
Throughout the week, I'm gonna be trying to post old links to old shows to see how far we've progressed. But also, if you guys want to share your favorite moments from our show, just tweet us at SDGC _ podcast, and I will retweet your favorite moments.
It's all Saki stuff.
Use hashtag.
It's gonna be anniversary week, guys. We gotta celebrate being on the show for 100 episodes.
I'm gonna take you guys out to a nice steak or chicken dinner for our anniversary, and then never call any of you again. That's how I'm going to celebrate our 100th anniversary. And I just want to say that in those 100 episodes, I have not missed a single one, and Brandon's only missed like one, I think.
A few, 4 maybe.
Is it? Yeah.
3 or 4.
I keep telling these guys to do the podcast without me one night, but they won't. But you guys are more than welcome to if you want to. But anyway, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Thanks a lot for joining us. We've got some big guests coming up soon. I don't want to spoil them just yet. And of course, we have PAX East coming up. Don't forget, I will be on a couple panels at PAX East. And
PAX East is something where you can set your expectations for some good announcements.
There's going to be some good stuff coming up. I'm
going to start getting hyped now.
Yeah.
Start your PAX East hype.
Start getting unreasonably excited.
Oh my gosh,
especially be excited for the live podcast that myself and Finn and Maddie and JT are going to do.
That's me. There
will be some hot milking action going on.
Oh, dude, we're going to be milking it so hard with that 1-2 switch. Oh, it's going to be great. Anyway, we'll go ahead and we will leave you guys here with it. Until next week, as always, it's not always poetry and we don't always agree, but we always keep it real. So until next week, you guys be kind and take care of each other.
Go buy Galgun.
Go play Doki Doki.
I'm gonna play Doki Doki tonight.